it began to be high. I was diagnosed with cardiomyopathy, which is an early stages of like heart disease and heart failure.
Oh shit.
Like, and that's what I'm saying. It was
And you're young,
scary.
like you're in
And
your
I,
early
right,
40s.
I wasn't 45. I was like 42-ish. And
Yeah.
so to hear heart disease, like, what do you mean my heart is failing? That it was a wake up call. It was a huge wake up call. And so, but again, she was really positive to say, look, all of these things can be reversed. We can get you off the blood pressure.
Welcome back, our Sleeve Life podcast. This is your girl Mel, and today is a patient story. You know how much I love those, just because they're so fun and they're so different, but we all have like kind of the same reason of just wanting to be healthy and longevity with life. And so you guys know I had sleeve surgery 10 years ago. I was 308 pounds. Today I weighed in at 174. So I'm excited to share someone else's story and see where they're at. So Kimberly, welcome to the show. Yeah, I got to meet Kimberly, guys, actually at the bariatric retreat. And we did little mini podcast sessions there. And I just fell in love with her. I was like, I need you on the podcast. Like I have to know all the things. So now I get to do a full reckoning with you. So
I'm here. Yes.
Yeah. So Kimberly is with me, and tell us, like what made you want to get surgery? What was that main why? Is that we would
my main why was health. So I, like many people, struggled with my weight all my life. I've tried every diet, all the things. Had success, would gain it back. Had success, would gain it back. And then when I had in 2020, I had COVID, and I was diagnosed as a long hauler. And then it started to affect my heart. I knew something didn't feel right. So I saw a cardiologist, and she was like, everything you're going through is reversible, but you need to lose weight. And I was kind of like, I've been trying. But because I heard that and I was scared. I mean, I was in my early 40s, and I didn't want my heart to fail. And so I thought, okay, let me try harder and try to be more intentional about losing weight. And I was good for about 8 months. And then I had to have a hysterectomy. And after having a hysterectomy, I felt like, the best way to describe it, I felt like my body was a snow globe, that like everything was just rattled and falling all over the place inside. And so I found it really difficult to exercise because things just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
And because moving didn't feel right, eating felt right though. And so my weight went from like overweight to like really, really overweight.
Okay.
And so my highest, I think I was about 360 pounds.
Okay.
And when I saw my cardiologist, I was like, I don't know what to do. I'm failing, and I need to do better. And she suggested weight loss surgery.
Okay.
And so I thought about it. I prayed about it. I was like, I researched it. A lot of people gave me their opinions, which were not really helpful. Everyone's journey is so individual. So anyway, I found a practice that I really liked and got started. They did a lot of prepping. It probably took a year from the time that I decided to have surgery until I had surgery. And my surgery date was September 3rd, 2024. So a little over a year ago now.
Yeah.
And so now it's been a year. I think I'm at like 14 months, something like that. I've lost about 145 pounds. And Mel, when I tell you, I feel amazing. I would say I wish I had done this earlier, but I don't think I was ready. I had the surgery when I was supposed to, but I feel like I have a completely new lease on life. I have an appreciation for just health and wellness. And so, that was my why, was wanting to be healthier, scared for my heart health.
Yeah.
And the bonuses were I like feeling better. My knees feel better. My back feels better. I've always been a tennis player, but it hurt. Like I'd have to play tennis and take a Motrin. And now like I can move freer. And so.
Oh, I love that for you. That's amazing. You get to move around and do what you like.
I do.
That's important, guys. Like that's quality of life. Like what's the point of living if you can't like move around?
If you can't enjoy it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it sounds like, as much as COVID sucked.
Hey, Sunshines. Quick moment for real talk. If you're getting ready for bariatric surgery or you are somewhere in the messy middle of transformation, you already know the surgery is the easy part. It's everything else that gets overwhelming. That's why we've partnered with POP Recovery Systems. They are not a doctor's office. They are not another app. They're an actual team of recovery experts who walk with you through the whole journey, from the pre-op nerves to the plastic stage, if you go that route. POP gives you one-on-one support like mental health coaching, nutrition guidance, mobility help, wound healing tips, all personalized to your procedure. And honestly, they just make you feel less alone. Their community is full of people who get it, and their coaches show up for you in a way most of us wish we had the first time around. If you've been thinking, I wish someone could just tell me what's normal, what's not, POP is literally that someone. You can book a free consult or join their community using the link in the show notes. Again, no pressure, just support when you need it.
Like, it definitely put a light, one, on a lot of things. One, mental health is actually talked about now, because we all were at home, had mental
Yeah.
health issues. Even the people that were
Yes.
like, mental health doesn't exist, it existed,
And
and
then
it
guess
happened to
what?
you.
Yep. Yep.
And then, unfortunately, you got the long haul, which, can you explain more what that is? Because people hear it, but then they're like,
Yeah.
that's for someone else. But it's like, no, it affected you so
It's
much to
not.
where you actually had to have weight loss surgery to combat all of these things.
Exactly, to help. And so after I had COVID, a couple of months after I had COVID, so I had COVID in no, like, so 2020 was kind of the year of COVID. I got COVID in November, so towards the end of that year.
Mhm.
And, all the typical sense of smell, sense of taste, all of that was gone. I had extreme fatigue though, and which was normal and expected. And after I was healed of COVID, after my time period of, being like strictly quarantined and all of that
Yep.
was over, I felt like as I started to be able to do things, I would start walking and then I tried to go back and play tennis. And I realized even months later, like I got tired way too fast. And it was like something just doesn't feel right. And so I went to my doctor because, you know your body. And I just knew that something was off. And when she looked at me and she ran all the tests and all of that, and then she said, I think you're considered a long hauler, which means you have long standing, I'm not going to say permanent, longer standing effects of COVID on your body than maybe what some other people do. So the fatigue that I felt at that point, it was past the point that typically it affected people who had COVID. And so, and she told me we've got to lose weight. I all of a sudden I needed blood pressure medicines. My blood pressure was high, which it had never been high before. Even being overweight, my blood pressure had never been high, but it began to be high. I was diagnosed with cardiomyopathy, which is an early stages of like heart disease and heart failure.
Oh shit.
Like, and that's what I'm saying. It was
And you're young.
scary.
Like, you're in
And
your early
I
40s.
I wasn't 45. I was like 42-ish. And
Yeah.
so to hear heart disease, like, what do you mean my heart is failing? That it was a wake up call. It was a huge wake up call. And so, but again, she was really positive to say, look, all of these things can be reversed. We can get you off the blood pressure medicine. She's like, we can heal your heart. But the biggest thing you can do to help yourself is to lose weight. And so that's what started me on this journey. And like I said, I even at that point, I think I started intermittent fasting, which was good. And I lost maybe like 30 pounds or something. And I was exercising more, and then came the hysterectomy, and it just kind of all fell apart. So,
Well,
weight loss surgery was like the missing piece that I needed to all the things that I was doing. So, it just all came together after that.
I mean, it's sad that it had to come to that, but I am happy that look at you now, like 145 pounds off of you. You are
Yes.
glowing, like you look good, you sound good. You can tell that you're happy.
Very.
Because back then I'm sure you were uncomfortable, right? Like things just
In
were.
ways I didn't even realize. Like I other people who have been overweight probably understand this. I would be sitting somewhere and like I would think, do I really want to go get the thing? Like, do I really want to go do that? Because I have to get up off the couch and my knees hurt and my back hurts. So I'd be like, oh hey, can you bring me the such and such? I would do that all the time. And it's
Yeah.
because moving just it was difficult.
Mhm.
Now I see somebody, they sneeze. I'm like, let me get you a tissue. Like, let me just jump up and let me go
Yeah.
do these things. And it's because I feel better, but I didn't realize how bad I felt until I started to feel better.
It's true. No, and you're not wrong because I actually had this conversation. I hope you're listening. His name's Jamie. It's breaking free from. He was 700 pounds, And we had a
Wow.
conversation about how it was so hard to do things. And
Yep.
now it's made things so much easier where we don't even think about getting up anymore. We're like, yep, we're just going to do this. Like
Yep.
you
Just
said,
go
I
do it.
got my friend her tissue. Like, and I was telling him, because where I'm at right now, I'm in my basement. So, like, legit, like, I remember being like, oh, I don't want to walk down those stairs.
Down the stairs.
I don't want to, because that means I have to walk back up the stairs.
Back
I was
up.
always
Yep.
thinking ahead of, like,
Yep.
oh, this is going to be forever. And, like, Old Mel came out actually during Halloween, like on Halloween, because
Uh-huh.
I went with my brother, and we, he has 5 kids. So we
Oh, wow.
did the trick-or-treating. And I kept telling him, I was like, so we're going to walk all the way to your ex-wife's house? And he's like, yeah. And
Yeah.
I go, okay, but how are we getting home? And he's
So
like,
just for context, how far is this? So I can understand.
this is a good mile. This is a good mile.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's not like it's bad, but I was in my head, it's like, but now we have to walk back.
So
Like,
we're gonna walk home?
like Big
Yeah.
Mel was talking. She was just like, oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how are we gonna get these kids back? How, like, what's happening? And he's
Right.
just like, he could tell I was starting to, like, panic a little bit. And he was like, Mel, we're not walking back.
You can do this.
Yeah,
But it's okay.
Yeah, he goes, we do this every year. He's like, maybe you don't remember, but we literally walk from here to there. And then we all get in the car and we drive back to the house. And I was like, oh, that's
Okay.
right. Okay.
That's right.
But it's that it takes over though, because you're just like we've been that person for so long.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I didn't get surgery till I was 28. So
Okay.
like for 28 years, I was thinking all these things of like, oh my God, it's going to be so hard to get back. Like anytime
Right.
we went anywhere, I was like, we're just going to hide this scaredness of
Yep.
like, because I'm going to be sweaty, icky, and
And
completely
gross. Right.
and gross
Exactly.
and just feel, and I know the next day I'm going to be achy. You know, it's just like everything just compounds. And so now it's just, yeah, it's nice to be able to just move and not think about it.
And not have to think about, but you're right in
Yeah.
terms of having to like plan a couple steps ahead. And you're right. I feel like I was always thinking that because I always had to figure out how am I going to be able to do this thing?
Yeah.
Like my niece, I have 2 nieces who like to be in school plays. They're in elementary school. Well, now
Yep.
she's in middle school. But I remember going to a play. And do you remember like back in middle school? I don't think they did this in high school. When you're in the auditorium and they have the seats and it has like the desk that's like in
Oh.
the seat with you and it comes up to.
Mhm.
So I'm in the
Those suck.
auditorium and before we sat down, I'm looking at the seats because I realized some of the chairs have the desk inside the chair, which makes the seating space smaller.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, my brother, such and such, like, who's going to sit where? I need to make sure I'm in a seat that doesn't have the desk.
Yep.
I miscounted. Math is not my strong suit. And I sat in a chair with the desk inside. And it was,
Oh.
but I was like, oh, Kimberly, how in the world? I thought I counted this out right. And sat there for, I don't know how long the play is, an hour and a half with this desk like cutting into my leg. Don't want to say anything because I don't want to be a problem. But then like circulation cut off in my
Yeah.
leg.
Your legs
It
numb.
was so bad, like completely numb.
Numb. Yep.
Right. And so I will say, so that was pre-surgery.
Yeah.
She was in a play earlier this year. And when I tell you how excited I was to one, not even have to think about
Mhm.
like, what seat can I sit in? But I ended up sitting in a seat with the desk,
Of course.
sat down, crossed my legs, like,
Ah!
you know, like I am here. And the mental weight that has been lifted is amazing. Like it is so freeing to not have to be thinking about things like that all the time, right? And
Well, 'cause
trying to plan ahead,
it just
right?
takes up so much mind space.
It
Like
does.
it's insane how much, guys. If you're listening to this is your first episode and you're like, I don't know if I want to, do it just for that. Like you're gonna get so much like brain time back because you're not worried about, is this chair going to break? Is this going to be
Right.
uncomfortable? I have to get a booth instead of the
Instead,
chairs.
yes, exactly.
Right. And even to this day, I look at my mom and she's just like, what do you want, a booth? Or I was like, well, I'm used to booths. I love them. But it's like, it's really up to you now. I don't give
Like
a
now
fuck
it
what
doesn't
I sit
matter.
in.
We can sit wherever you want.
It's
Yeah.
I mean, chairs are still uncomfortable, but I'll
Right.
do it.
but
I'll
I'll
do
do
it,
it.
damn it. I'll do it because I
Yeah.
can sit and I can, even when I was on the plane for a retreat, that was like the coolest feeling because like
Yeah.
I have never been this small on a
Mm-hmm.
plane. So for
Okay.
those that don't know, like I never hit my lowest weight. I never hit goal. My goal was 160, so technically I still haven't reached it. But that was my own
Okay.
personal goal. Like my surgeon didn't give me a goal, and even
Yeah.
I had my surgeon on once, and she's like, "I don't know what goal you're talking about because I never gave you one." And I'm like, "You're not
I
wrong."
had a goal.
Yeah, and I was like, "Damn it, Dr. Patterson, you're not wrong. You didn't
Right.
give me one." She's like, "It wasn't about that." And I go, "I know it wasn't
Yeah.
about that, but we all give ourselves these goals, and I never hit. And the lowest
Mm-hmm.
I've ever been was 179. And I've never, even then, I wasn't on a plane. So, like, I'm
Yep.
1.7, like I said, I'm 174 this morning, and just, it was just a month ago, it was like, I was around like 179. So I was like, oh my God, like, there's room on
There's room.
there's room. I was able to like I got kind of cold and I was
Yeah.
able to put my feet up on the seat and just hug myself. And I
Yep.
had my sweater on and I'm just like it's so cold.
And you have the space to do it, and no one is sitting next to you like in horror. Like
Yeah. Like my body is not touching someone else accidentally. Like
it's a beautiful thing. I'm like,
it,
now I can sit in a middle seat and not like I used to. Well, granted, I still like the window seat because I'm the person who wants to sit down and like go to sleep. I don't want to
same.
have to keep standing up to let you out. So I prefer the window seat. But it used to be like horrible if I got a middle seat and like that was all that was left. Because now, you're doing this, you're trying not to spill over and make everybody else uncomfortable. Meanwhile, you're super uncomfortable. Anyway,
Oh,
like the
I
freeing,
feel ya.
it's amazing. It's
It is
amazing.
amazing. And
Yeah.
so my other question for you, so you said that you had to have, and if you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but you said you
Mhm.
had to have a hysterectomy.
Yes.
Um, do you mind me
Had
asking what
to,
happened?
well, I don't know if I said, I probably did say I had to have a hysterectomy. That's kind of how I think about it. So yeah, so I had a condition called endometriosis, and I'm happy to talk about it because I feel like
Yes.
it's not more commonly talked about now than it was when I think I first got it, which was like back in college, so 20 years ago. I just thought I have really bad cramps and I have an irregular cycle and I don't know why. So doctors for years would just put me on birth control to try to control it. I didn't want to be on birth control all the time. So I would kind of, be on it for a while and come off. And when I would come off of it, it's like my body was mad and it would come back with a vengeance, and the cramps and like just the irregularity would be horrible.
Yeah.
And I suffered with low iron. So I was tired all the time. And it wasn't until, so like I said, I think this started in college and it just was, I've got bad cramps. Like, I guess that's just my plight in life.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I went to see my gynecologist. I was in Connecticut and she was out for some reason. I don't know if she was sick, something happened, she wasn't there. So I saw another doctor in the practice. And as I was explaining to him, what I was feeling, because he kind of was like, tell me about yourself so I know,
Yeah.
what we're talking about. And as I explained it, he said, I have a theory. He said, I think you may have endometriosis. He said, let me do an exam. And as he was examining me, he said, if I'm right, this is really going to hurt. So I'm just letting you know.
Oh, yeah.
And Mel, he touched an area that I literally jumped off. Well, I almost jumped off the table. It
Oh
hurt
no.
so bad. And he was like, I'm really sorry that it hurt that like that. He said, but I'm 99% sure you
Yep.
have endometriosis. He said, go home, read it, look it up. Let's make an appointment for next week and we'll talk about it. And it was like when I went home and looked it up, all the light bulbs went off. Like, yes, this is what I have been feeling for years that I was just told was bad cramps. So anyway, I had really bad endometriosis at that
Yep.
point and was given a couple of options. At the time, I didn't know if I still wanted to have children. So I did some things to kind of elongate my childbearing years and kind of
Okay.
manage the endometriosis. And then um it was let's see, 2022 I think is when it was like, okay, it's really getting out of hand, it's harder and harder to manage. Let me decide if I'm ready to just have a hysterectomy, because that at that point was my only option.
Damn.
And so I say I had to have one. It was really my choice to have one, but I
Okay.
felt like it was necessary. And so, yes, so that's ended up why I had a hysterectomy in 2022, which, like I said, was great because it ended it changed the endometriosis chapter of my life. Endometriosis, unfortunately, is something that can come back, but it has significantly changed. I mean, I used to operate at a pain level of 8 to 10 on a daily basis.
Oh shit.
Right. And you figure out ways to cope.
Right.
So, but like in eight, like that's the level of pain that I was dealing with almost all the time. And now, post hysterectomy, one. Like, I mean, it
Wow.
is
That's
the same way sleeve surgery has like changed my life in that way. Me having the hysterectomy to deal with endometriosis changed my life like for the better. It's amazing. Yeah.
like I'm glad that you're telling us this because like endometriosis and PCOS have like a whole, they're married basically, like a
Yes,
whole
they
thing.
are.
And I've learned now because I got in touch with a hormone expert,
Mm-hmm.
a lady that actually went through her own process of like she was a binge eater, emotional eater. It fucked up her hormones so much to now she was like going into menopause in her 30s, like
Oh
all these
gosh.
things,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And now she's an expert, and now she helps women like you to get that baseline, because what I've learned is, and
Mm-hmm.
guys, if you're not watching the lives, like literally we do a hormone live talk every month because we don't know this shit. And apparently
Right.
all the birth control that we've been given, and doesn't matter what you're taking, whether it's an implant on the pill, fucking the
Yep.
patch, the injections, like it's actually a synthetic hormone that we're putting into our body, and it actually
Not
suppresses,
surprised.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it suppresses our actual hormones, the progesterone and the estrogen. So
Yeah.
then that's why when you come off of it, you feel everything, because all it was doing was literally masking it.
Yep.
So it was an actual band-aid. So what she does is she has all the hormones fucking tested. And then she goes through
Okay.
and then she works on one hormone with you at a time and starts getting it back, because she's been able to get people back to where they can ovulate, back to where they can
Oh,
actually have
nice.
babies again,
Yeah.
even for herself. That's what she had to do. And it's like, yeah, because they're not treating the root cause. And you can see it
No.
with you. They didn't at all. They literally just kept
It
going,
was a birth
do,
control band-aid over and
yep,
over and over again. And
yeah, and
granted, I
we,
get that they did what they knew
right,
at the time. But
right.
that's all they knew. And
That's
so,
all they know. And that's what's crazy about health and wellness, is that it's evolving all the time because
yep,
we learn more and more about our bodies. And that's the
yep,
thing, is that like you shouldn't have had to been in that kind of pain. You shouldn't have had to live with that for so fucking long.
right.
Because like there are ways to fix these things. And that's why I'm like, hey guys, like what I've learned, if your primary care can't do it, that's fine. That's
Yeah,
not what they're there for. Some of these primary cares that I've heard them literally say, I'm not here to handhold you. I'm here to just help you with what's happening right now.
yeah,
Like you need, like, and so it's like on us now to really go outside of our primary cares and just
yes.
find the coaches, find the
Find the
experts.
specialties.
Yep.
Yes. Be your own advocate though, because
Yep.
you're right. And with the way that insurance works, and granted, I'm not going to villainize anybody in this, but the way that some of these processes work, they're not incentivized to keep you well, right?
No.
So they are here, like you said, I'm here to fix the problem you came in with. And so when I used to go to my doctor and I'd be like, okay, here are the 5 things I want to talk about. And I could already see her eyes glazing over, like, you've got 15 minutes, ma'am.
Yep.
Like, what's the
Yep.
most pressing thing? We'll
Mm-hmm.
address that and I'll see you next year.
Yeah. Well, they
So,
don't
but
have
that's how it
time.
works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our doctors and nurses are overworked. That has never been like, it's,
Yep.
if you don't believe that, guys, then you just need to go into a doctor's office. Like they really don't get enough time with their patients.
Yep.
Some doctors really try. Like my doctor tries to give me 30 minutes at all
Okay.
times. And that's not with an exam. That is just us talking. So like
That is
that's what's
great.
nice. I know she
Yeah.
really, really wants it, but she also denied me to get my hormones checked. So that was what
Mm-hmm.
was interesting, because she's like,
Mm-hmm.
all she did was ask me a bunch of questions about like, how am I sleeping? How am I feeling? What am I eating? What am I exercising? And then she's like, you're fine. And I'm like,
Oh, I'm not.
I'm
I'm
not
not.
though. I'm
Yep.
not. I'm on antidepressants and anti-anxiety meds, which I probably could come off of if I knew what the root causes are. And I'm
Yes.
sure I have high cortisol now that I've learned about cortisol yesterday. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, cortisol tanks a lot of things, guys. Like that can make you gain weight or never lose weight.
Or
It's just
never
cortisol.
lose weight. Yes,
Hmm.
exactly.
Yeah.
But
So
you're
it
right.
just
And they're not necessarily their education doesn't necessarily always include all of that. So,
right.
like my mom has always been my whole life very into holistic medicine. And so she'd be, and it's funny, my dad's a surgeon. So it's like they have the two very different approaches to
They
things.
do.
Yes, but it was good because it gave me a balanced perspective to say, okay, like traditional medicine says this. And sometimes there is a need for traditional medicine.
Oh yeah.
But hand in hand with that, look at the holistic approach and say, what else can I be doing? How can I maybe get to the root cause of what's going on? What else do I need to think about? And like you said, who else do I need to see to make sure the whole, all of me is actually okay?
Yeah, not just like 10%.
Right. Exactly.
So now that we
Yeah.
know that like the main reason was for you to get healthy, how did
Yes.
they just refer you to a doctor or did you do research to find your surgeon?
So interestingly, years ago, I had met, I think I had like a gallbladder, what I thought was a gallbladder issue. I was having these
Okay.
weird stomach pains, and I saw a doctor who said, you need to have your gallbladder removed. And I was saying that to a friend of mine, and he was like, before you do that, because sometimes doctors are a little surgery happy, let me refer you
Yes.
over to this other doctor that I know because I think he's got like a really good perspective of health and he'll tell you the truth. So I went to this other doctor. Mel, when I walked in, he felt like an uncle. Like I walked, when you, like you said, a doctor who gives you 30 minutes, like he walked in and I did not feel like he had punched a time clock. He was like, let's talk. And he sat down, he drew diagrams for me. Like we
Oh,
talked about
hell
all
yeah.
of these things. He was so wonderful. He said I didn't need to have my gallbladder removed, which was great. We talked about weight loss and this was, again, this was years ago. And we talked about some other things that I was going through. But he was so good that when I decided, I think I want to have weight loss surgery, when my cardiologist said that, I was like, I want to find that doctor and talk to him about it. And
Okay.
so I went back to him. I had no idea he actually used to be a bariatric surgeon. And so he was like the perfect person to talk to. He had retired from surgery, but again, he took me in like as his niece and was like, let's talk about this. He he suggested that I have the sleeve. He said, I think that could work really, really well for you. But he warned me. He said, look, he's like, this is not a, you go, you get the sleeve and you just skip off happily ever after. He was like, you're going to have to do the work.
Yeah.
And I was like, I hear you, Uncle Doctor. Like, I hear
Hmm.
you. So he referred me to a practice. I went there, but my insurance did not cover it, and so they didn't work with anybody who didn't have insurance. So my cardiologist referred me to another practice, and that's the practice I ended up with. But when I tell you, that's the practice I needed to be with.
Yeah.
Every person there was like we had this chemistry from the moment I met, like first day that I walked in, and
Oh,
I was like,
good.
I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be,
Hmm.
right? And so that office was so great. It's the comprehensive bariatric services at Wellstar, which is a health system here in Georgia. But it was so good, and that's the practice that I went through. And they really do. And I don't know if most surgical practices are like this, but they do a comprehensive approach where I had to work with a psychologist, I had to work with a nutritionist, I had to work with an exercise therapist, like and do all the things. I had to go to support group meetings, and I had to do all of that before I got cleared for surgery.
That's right. That's
So,
right.
yeah, which is, like I said, it took a year from the time I started to the time I actually had surgery, um, which I think really set me up for success afterwards. I mean, I'm only a year, 14 months out, but
Yeah.
I still feel like this has been a success at 14 years. I can't wait till I get to 5 years and 10 years, and I'm like, it's still a success. But yeah, so it's been great so far.
Good. I'm glad that
Yeah.
like you were right. You obviously were in the right spot at the right time. Like you were with the right people.
Yeah.
Like that's huge, guys. You can interview your surgeons. You can check out the facilities. You do not have to just go to the only one that they send you to.
Hmm.
Our insurance is like depending on your insurance, it can cover different places in your area.
Yeah.
Um, and if those suck, you can go somewhere else.
Go
You
someplace else.
yeah,
Yep.
because remember, like they're going to be the ones that check you all the time. they're going to be the ones that actually do the surgery itself. So you definitely want to have someone that you like and care for, and that feel like they care for you at the same time. And I
Yeah.
just feel like bariatric surgeons, they're just so different. Like, they are like the nicest people.
They are.
And they love what they do. They're just like, you guys are just awesome community. They're just like, you guys just want to work. And it's like, yeah,
Right.
like because we've done everything else. Like, that's the deal, is a lot of us overweighties, like,
Ladies.
oh, us overweighties, man, like, we've tried everything. We're not
Yeah.
new to this game of trying to lose weight, right? Like, we're not just waking up one day, I need surgery. It's like, we have tried almost
All the
100
things.
all the things
Yeah.
that we can think of, and nothing's sticking. And now that we know that obesity is a disease, it makes more sense why it's so much harder to lose weight. It's
Right.
like, it's literally like diabetes. Once you have obesity, you cannot not have obesity.
Correct.
So
Correct.
it's like, yes, is it something that happens to you? Yes. I think they're learning now, like, there is some genetic components to this, to where, like, yeah, like, if your whole family is, you're like 90% or 80% more likely.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
and Dr. Spencer Nadowski, he's one of my favorites, and he's not a surgeon, but he's obesity med, and he straight up said, like, in our generation, so I'm excited about this, is that they're going to be able
Hmm.
to pinpoint it in childhood, to where they can, once they
Oh,
find it in childhood, now they can actually make it not happen. So I'm like, holy shit, like, that's exciting.
that is so
Because,
great. I mean, to
yeah,
know like the things that, especially kids who have been obese during like the puberty years or anything like that, it is hard. It is so hard.
were you one of those? I was one of those.
And so,
I was a big girl
you
my
know
whole
what's,
life.
really funny. So I have had my best friend. I've known her since I was 3 years old. She will say, like, so she will say, "You didn't have a weight problem," and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like, yes, I did. And she's like, no. She's like, I don't remember you being overweight until you were like in your 30s. And I was like, I think I don't even know if Jenny Craig is still a thing anymore. It might be. I don't remember. But I remember
Was.
being like 10 and being like, Mom, can I do Jenny Craig? Like at 10. And it's not because I wanted to, like, I was just skinny, like focused. It's just I was bigger than everybody else. Right? Like I remember, and granted, I think we were in like third grade and we all had to go to the nurse and get weighed. And the nurse wrote our weight on a piece of paper. And we came back to the classroom and people were like passing their notes around. And I was like, I'm not showing
Yeah, no, you
anybody
ain't
this.
show. You're not seeing my way. You're
And
crazy.
finally, one friend of mine was like, let me see yours. And so I was like, okay. So I gave it to her. She was like, you weigh more than my mom.
Oh
Horrified.
no. Oh no.
But, it was one of those things. So that just let me know I was heavier than everybody else, right? And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
even if my best friend did not think you didn't have a weight problem, and I'm like, you love me, thank you. That's very
That's
nice
what it
that you
is. Yeah.
didn't see it. But it was there. It was there.
Oh
So
yeah. Like, it's interesting, because I had got the same thing all the way up until I hit like high school. They were like, you're fine, you're fine. But it's like,
right.
I'm the biggest one in this room,
Mm-hmm.
and there's guys in here. Like, this is
Right.
not okay
It's not okay.
by any means. I was 8th grade, 200 pounds.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I was.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, guys, like, you just have, like, because you love us, there's like this blinder on,
Yes.
and I totally understand it. It's just like, because we have our own blinders on. Like, even when I posted my regain photo versus my like today photo,
Oh,
and
I think I
I
saw that just like a week, like within a past week. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I was in so much denial. Like, even then, I was like, you look great, girl. Don't you
But
worry.
to tell you
You're
the truth,
not.
I saw that post and was like, she looks good.
But
But
I was
you
60
feel
pounds
it.
heavier.
You do feel it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And it's just wild. It's like, our brains just go, nope, you're fine.
Right.
You're
You're
fine. You're
fine.
fine. You're fine. And it's just like, no, I need to see photos, because that's where I'm like, oh shit. Because I would
So,
take the photos, post the photos, and then never look at the photos again. So
right.
it's like,
It doesn't
no idea.
exist. Right.
Yep.
So
Yep.
let me ask, because you were further out along post surgery, how often do you weigh yourself?
Okay, so that's a interesting question, because
Hmm.
I used to weigh myself the first 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
I used to weigh myself every Saturday. That was
Okay.
what I did.
Okay.
And then I stopped weighing myself.
Okay.
And then I gained weight.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I stopped weighing.
Did you stop
because
weighing yourself because you gained weight?
So I think psychologically, yes. I think
Okay.
because I could feel it. You know, when you start feel like, for me, I feel it in the back of my arms, on my sides.
Yep.
And I think once I started feeling it, I was like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to know.
If I don't look, it's not real. Yeah.
It doesn't exist, right? And so I stopped weighing myself. I stopped weighing my food.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped tracking.
Yep.
And this happens a lot to people in year 3, 4, and 5. So this is like the typical, and I'm working on some courses right now about it because it's real. Like you're out of the honeymoon phase, you stop doing all your normal shit, and then life's, right? Like shit's happening to you. People lose family members, friends, there's
jobs, all of it. Yes.
Yeah, jobs, fucking kids are being crazy, and you're like having to be, a disciplinarian. Yeah. And so like a lot of shit just kind of goes out the window because you're focused on not yourself anymore. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, like I what I did do, which I'm happy with myself, is that I only gained 15 pounds during that section. That wasn't even my regain section. That was just my 15 pounds, Mel. I went from 179 to 192, and then I sat at 192 for 3 years. Okay. But I wasn't exercising. I wasn't doing anything special. It was, I had a standing desk that I stood at every day. Okay. For 8 hours, and I just didn't have, I didn't have candy or anything like that, but I did introduce Jimmy John's. And for those that have listened to this podcast, they all know Jimmy John's was the evil, because that was what
is that your thing?
That sandwiches. Yeah. I fucking love sandwiches. Yeah. And it's really the bread. I love good old ciabatta bread, sourdough bread, fucking French bread, just with my sandwich. So yeah. So that's what got me. And then life in year 7 to 8. That's where, I witnessed my ex-husband die and come back for, he was out for 2 minutes and they did CPR, all these things. Yeah. We were in the hospital for 6 weeks, 16 surgeries later. I lived in that hospital for a few weeks.
Now, you were married awful. At the time? Mm-hmm. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. When we say lives, oh my God.
Yeah, I really mean it. I felt like I was in a Grey's Anatomy fucking episode. I was just like, yes. Where's Sloan? I need someone in your staff. What the fuck is happening? This is not what happens to people like me. This is what happens on TV.
This is TV.
No, it was real, and it's fucking crazy. And all of my coping mechanisms went through the window. Yeah. And I just ate. Yeah. And I slowly gained that 50 pounds back. Mm-hmm. And it took a full year and a half, and then I finally asked for help. I was on an episode with Nolani. I don't know if you guys meet Nolani at Retreat, right? Yeah. And I was on an episode with her, and I finally broke down and cried and said it on air that I've regained. And that was the best thing I could have done, because once I admitted it, the weight fucking lifted of okay, it's real. They know it's real. I don't have to act like I'm hiding this anymore. And then now I can finally work on myself.
And now I can fix it. Right.
Now I can fix it. But it took until I finally admitted it out loud to people until for me to actually do something about it. So I went a year and a half of regain. And then finally I went to my surgeon, and then we talked about GLP-1s, and then my insurance does not cover anything like that. By any means, yeah. We did try metformin. That did not work. That just made me constipated. Yeah, that was super painful. I've never been constipated. Yeah. Even with Dylan when I was pregnant, no constipation issues. So I was like, damn, these ladies that have constipation,
it is not fun.
It is fucking painful.
It's horrible. It's
Jesus.
Horrible. Yeah.
So they took me off that, and then I was on phentermine. Okay. And then she gave me a half dose, because she's like, we're going to slowly taper you up. And I was like, okay. And then the half dose made me feel like a crackhead. I was grinding my teeth. Yeah. And I would be I told her, I was like, I don't know why I'm grinding my teeth awake. I'm literally, I would just be working, and I'm just doing this the whole time. Yeah. I've literally, and I've been around meth heads and crackheads before, so I'm just I felt like one. Yeah. And so she's like, well, we're going to have to take you off that. So that didn't work. So it's we had to do all these different things to figure it out. And finally, I just went on the gray market, whatever the fuck you call it, and got
Yeah.
myself a got myself a
One of the
compound and
compounds.
started, uh-huh, and
Oh,
just
and
started
it just
pulling my
worked.
own. And it worked. It
So
worked. I
good.
mean, I went through some trial and error with it to figure
Yeah.
out, like, the nausea issues and like the puking stuff. But like once I got through that month of just trying to figure it out, I've
Yeah.
been totally fine ever since. But it took a little bit. But
I'm
like, yeah,
so
like I said,
glad people are like talking about it, because
mm-hmm.
I feel like there was a time, and even now, I still think some people are still shamed that they are dealing with obesity or dealing with not being able to lose weight the easy way or the natural way,
Natural
whatever.
way.
Um, and so people don't want to talk about it, but I'm like,
Mm-mm.
we need to, because saying, yeah, I tried this, I tried this, I tried this. Here were my complications. So this is what I did, and this worked. You're going to
Yeah.
help people just by sharing that, right?
And
So,
that's all I can ask for is for you guys to just take your lessons from me. I don't want you to have to go through all the hardship. Like,
yeah,
if you can jump over taking metformin and phentermine, then do it. Fucking go get your GLP-1. There's no
right.
shame in that game. And I have Healy meds
Seriously.
on my side. Use Melton. Like, I got a place for just
Nice.
this now. So
Oh, that's
it's nice to
awesome.
have some help, right?
Yeah.
So, but you don't have to worry about that yet. You're golden right now. You're
Not yet,
14
but
months out.
I'm very aware that like that is to come. And so I love having conversations with people who are a few steps ahead of me, who can say, "Hey, let me tell you the bumps you're about to hit," or whatever,
Yep.
because they're real. And I do not feel like I'm some superhuman who's like, "No, I lost all my weight in the honeymoon phase and it was never a problem again." Like, no, I know I have to. My goal for the honeymoon phase, my surgeon had told me that I would probably lose weight for about 18 months. So in
Yes.
my mind, what I heard was, Kimberly, you have 18 months to try to retrain your brain and learn
Mm-hmm.
better, healthier habits, so that when the real effect of the surgery, even though it's always going to have an effect, but when the real strong effect, initial effect of the surgery starts to wear off, you now have better habits in place that will maintain you. So I have
Yes.
been in the gym, really trying to talk myself through these cravings that come
Yeah.
up,
Yeah.
right? Like finding healthier alternatives for things, understanding what my triggers are. I did not think I was a stress eater until this process, when I realized, oh, I thought emotional eating was like, I'm so sad, boo hoo hoo, I'm crying as I eat the french fries.
Same.
But
Yep.
the reason I knew I was a stress eater is because I did a financial fast. My cousin she's so good with her money, and she was
Oh, that's
encouraging
fun.
other people to do a financial fast. So for a month, it was like you only buy what's absolutely necessary. So there's no going
Oh,
out to eat. There's no, like, I couldn't get my car washed. I had to wash my own car, which that may not sound like a big deal to other people. I haven't washed my car since like I was in high school. But like I was
right.
out
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
with a bucket and like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, we're gonna wash the car. So paid for nothing except the absolute like necessary stuff. I realized at work or life, whenever I had a stressful moment, whenever the moment was over, I went, oh, now I need something good to eat. And I would
Mm-hmm.
say that out loud. And for me, that meant I want to order food. And that's the only reason I started to realize it, is because I was not ordering food. And I had to be like, oh, no, 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 you're not ordering. Right. We're doing this fast. But I was like, dang, I say that a lot. And it's always during stressful moments in my life. I'm a stress eater. And I also recognize that there's some people or things that trigger me that make
Yeah.
me want
Yeah.
to eat. I had to
100%.
recognize it. Yep. And so now, like I said, I've given myself 18 months to get that under control, because, I know that regain is real. And
It is real.
so, and even now, like I weigh myself almost every day. I
Yeah, I'm an everydayer wearer now
Are you?
because I'm like
Yep.
I am because it's like why am I lying to myself? Just fucking
Right.
get on the scale, and all it is data. Don't make your day all about that number.
No.
Just
Right.
it's a check in. It goes
It's a
okay, you're on track.
check-in.
Cool,
Yes.
got it.
And I would weigh myself once a week, except I feel like, okay, what if I just happen to be like heavier that Saturday? Like when I weigh
Mm-hmm.
myself every day, like I have these little fluctuations, which I've grown to just expect now. But if I only weighed myself once, it could be that higher number because I had something salty or, whatever that is.
Yeah.
So it doesn't dictate my day. but it does, I do use it just as a just as a guide of, okay, so I know I did this, I'm a little heavier, or I did this and I'm a little lighter, or I peed, whatever it is. It's like, okay, these fluctuations are normal, but what's the overall trend that I'm seeing? And I feel like I use it to help keep me on track. um I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to become ever a weekly weigher. I do think I'm just going to, but I can only weigh myself at home in the morning on my scale. Like if I go
That's right.
someplace else to get on somebody else's scale, I'm like, your numbers mean nothing to me.
They don't. Nope. Not at all. It's not the same.
It's not the same.
Nope. Mm-mm. Well, no, because like I actually, it's really funny. I got a big backlash on this one because I told people to like just if you want if you want to see what the real data is, just fucking go pee and poop and then fucking weigh yourself in the morning. And this lady got, oh my god, this content creator on TikTok got real mad. Like
Why?
she went off on me saying that I'm causing people like emotional like devastation, and that I shouldn't, it's only about a pound to 2 pound difference and I shouldn't be telling people this,
But it
blah,
makes a
blah, blah.
difference.
But I was like, but if it helps their mindset in the morning, what's the harm in it?
No, absolutely.
And that is actually, it's called a true weight.
Yeah.
So and I looked at, because of this lady, I learned a lot. I was like, okay, well, let me see if I'm actually making harm. And no, it's called a true weight or a dry weight. So that's after you peed and poop and you step on the scale in the morning. Because at night you're holding everything in.
Yep.
And everything's processing, everything's doing its thing, and then it needs to detoxify. Yep. So now we need to pee and poop. And so that's why that's your dry weight. So I went on again and I was like,
total sense.
This is what I found, blah, 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 blah. Right? I will clap back if I have to. Most of the time I don't, because it's just like stupid funny stuff. But that one, it got to me because she also said that I was creating, what did she say? Oh, you think so too, huh, Nova? No, just started barking. She said that I was like creating like some sort of eating disorder.
But you were creating an eating disorder
for people. And I was like,
Mel, you did not say,
fuck?
If you want to lose weight, like, go take a diuretic, like, go take some X-Lax and make yourself poop and lose weight. Like, no, if you want to get a true weight, wait till you poop and then weigh yourself.
Yep. I was like, son of a bitch, because she even said, like, what about the people that just eat stuff and then like spit it out? I'm like, what? I'm not even talking about those people, but I've been one of those people. So the year one, I fucking wanted the stuffed crust pizza from fucking Pizza Hut, and I didn't want it at the time, but my husband at the time brought it home, and then this is the problem. He brought it home. Him and his friends ate and then bounced. So now I have 2 pizzas
sitting there talking to you.
Calling my name.
Totally.
And they got the ones that I fucking love, of course, too. Of course. So it's a pepperoni with jalapenos on it and fucking ranch and then the stuffed crust. And I was like,
and you might have the willpower for a little bit to be like, no,
exactly.
No, I'm good.
It took
you're
me
home all night.
Yeah, it took me 45. I was talking myself down for 45 minutes.
Yep.
And finally I was like, fuck it, what's it gonna do if I just have a couple bites? Yep. And then it did go into a little scary where I was like, I can just eat it and spit it out.
And spit it out.
And so I did that, and all of a sudden, like, I did that, and I hear my husband and the friends walking to the door, and I was like, oh my god, and I just like put it in a napkin, sat it next to me until they all like went through the house, until they left, and then once I got up, I like pulled out all these napkins. Erica's like, what the fuck did you do? That? And I was like, I go, you can't leave pizza here.
No.
Nope. Learned that the hard way. So that's kind of the deal, is like you do learn your triggers as you go. Yep. Certain foods trigger you, certain stressful situations. Yep. I think we relate a lot because our minds are kind of the same, where I thought, because my aunt is a big lady. I come from big women. Yep. So I just assumed at 16 I was going to be a big lady. Yep. I came to terms, like, that's just your life, so deal with it. But she said, hey, like, be careful, you could be an emotional eater. And I was like, oh. Hey, Jolene, I ain't no emotional eater. Like, that's what you guys do. Right. That's your guys' thing. I don't cry and eat. Who the fuck does that? Right. And so I thought of the same, in my head, like, logic of like, well, I don't cry while I'm eating. So how am I
That's
an
what I thought it
emotional
was.
eater?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't ever go, I'm upset, I need food. I
Right.
never did that.
Yep.
But I was subconsciously being like, oh, you had a rough day? You deserve some
You need
fries.
something sweet.
Mm-hmm.
You need comfort
It's,
food. Absolutely.
yep. Yeah, mine's
Absolutely.
always been savory salty.
Okay.
I'm not a big sweet girl, but I will
Hmm.
eat the fuck out of fries, bread, ranch,
Yeah.
anything. And
And
even my
I'm a little bit
steaks.
of everything. It just depends on the mood and the way the wind is blowing. So it could be
Yep.
French fries, it could be ice cream, it could be potato chips, or it could be like a chocolate chip cookie. Like, so it just
Yeah.
depends. It's just
It
whatever
really
triggers
does.
the dopamine in me. That's just what I want then. Right.
Well, and now we know we're emotional eaters. We're stress eaters.
Oh, totally.
It's a real thing, and we just didn't know because we thought you actually had to have that emotion at the time
You
you're
had to
eating.
be crying as you
Mhm. So guys, just know if that's you, it's okay.
Yep.
It's just we like me and Kimberly had no idea that that's what it actually was
Right.
until we go through this process of like, oh shit, I can't eat my feelings anymore. What the fuck am I gonna do?
Now what
Like
do
I
I
had,
do?
yeah, like because I'm a big proponent for therapy because I was having panic attacks in my hallway because my mom upset me and now I can't eat. Like, and so I had to learn, like you said, people
Yep.
and things
Trigger
cause
you.
certain
Totally.
trigger you. And mine was my mother and work. So it was like I need
Yep.
it all the time. And then when I couldn't, I'm literally in the middle of my hallway crying. And my husband at the time was like, "Are you okay?" And I go, "Nope, I don't know
No.
what's going on. I
Right.
can't do anything." And he's like, "All right, well, let's get you up. Let's like, trying to talk me through it." And he was great at that stuff.
Okay.
That's not why he's a drug addict. That's where his
Okay.
life
That's
we were
probably
together
yes.
for we were together for 15 years. I love him to death. Like
Yeah.
I love him like as a best friend, but
Yeah.
like drugs took over,
Yeah.
and that's why ours are split. But he was great at talking me down,
Okay.
and he was really good at making sure like figuring out the causes. And so me and him figured out, oh, it's because I just got upset with my mom, and I typically eat after I have talks with my
And
mother.
now I don't have that safety
Now I
blanket.
can't do that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what
Well,
now
because I
what?
would have the protein shake, but I wouldn't feel satisfied.
No, the protein shake isn't dopamine triggering. It doesn't.
Not at all. Nope.
It gives you protein.
Nope.
That's it. It's not
Yeah,
a feel good
that's
thing.
it.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yep.
So, needless to say, like you have to monitor what's going on with your body after you have surgery because you can really figure out the triggers, your mental health issues. Like, are you seeing a therapist? Because you are a year out, so I hope you are.
Yes. And she's my best friend in my head. I know I'm just one of her patients, but to me, Dr. Perkins is my best friend. And
Yeah, that's good.
but I knew that was going to be a key component for me is working with a therapist to talk through all the things because it was important. And like I said, I realized I had all these triggers. And she was really helpful in helping me figure out, okay, so when you get to the point where you're like, just give me the cookies, right? And also, and you know, the commercial where they're like, this person's so mean and they're like, oh, they just need a Snickers. Like that.
Oh yeah.
I feel like that is me. I feel like someone saw me and was like, we could make a whole commercial series based off of how Kimberly is when she's like crazy. If I've
hangry.
decided I want hangry is who I am. When I want the food, when I've decided I want the cookie, it's like there's no rational thought. It does not matter. Get out of my way. I have tunnel vision. I'm getting a cookie. And if something keeps me from the cookie, like I am generally a very nice person, but claws come out like it is right. And so I had to figure out when, especially in the first couple months when I couldn't eat a cookie, now I can have a cookie. But then when I couldn't eat a cookie, it was like, well, now what do I do? Like
Yeah.
you said, I'm in the hallway trying to figure it out. And that's when the therapist was like, okay, let's try some tactics. Let's, try some deep breathing exercises. To that, I was like, that's not working for me because all I'm doing is thinking about the cookie as I'm breathing. But,
Yep.
even things like a delay tactic work really well for me. So if I say, okay, I really want a cookie, it's Wednesday, I'll have one on Saturday. Like, and I tell myself that.
Ooh, okay.
By Saturday, I'm typically over the thing that has triggered me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't even want it on Saturday. But telling myself that on Wednesday is huge. Even though now I know you're probably not going to eat it on Saturday. But I tell myself, oh, I'm going to get a cookie on Saturday.
Yeah, no, it's the self-talk of going,
Totally.
and it's almost like a reassurance of like, no, you're gonna get one, don't worry.
You're gonna get one, don't worry.
It's gonna happen,
Yep.
don't worry about it. Yeah, they say that you need like 20 minutes to distract yourself. There's like a whole thing.
Yeah.
I need more than 20
I
minutes.
need more than that.
It really depends on what it is. Like in the scenario, like they say halt, which is you need to actually like halt means like, are you hungry?
Yeah.
Are you angry? Are you lonely? Are you tired?
Okay.
And so you need to think about those things. And if you're not one of those, you might just actually just be hungry.
Right. So you
and
might
that's okay. And that's okay. Or you could just be thirsty. A lot of us are. I do a whole thing on
Yes.
Water Wednesdays.
Okay.
I've done 3 weeks in a row of like just telling you like, hey, like there's different benefits of actually getting water in your body. It's not just the hydration part. It's like it actually helps with focus and energy and memory.
Absolutely.
And like all these things.
Yeah.
And so like you could just be thirsty. But if we can get ourselves to stop for a second, that's where the gold is. That's where the growth is, because then you get to see what are you actually doing.
Yeah.
Because during COVID time, a lot of us got put at home. And then me and a bunch of people, we had to talk because, you know, like when you work at home, you have that group chat with your work buddies.
Yeah.
And I was like, why the fuck did I put myself near a fridge?
Oh, that.
I worked in the kitchen because I didn't actually have an office. I had an extra room to use because my kid wanted to be in the basement. So like, I think it was just easier access. Like he didn't learn how to sneak out and do things. So that was more of a smarty pants on his side. But for me, I'm like, I have this extra room. I'm not even using it. But for some reason, I'm just staring at the fucking fridge.
At the fridge all day long.
And I was year 3.
Yeah.
So I was only 3 years out from surgery. And I'm like, oh no. And I would just stand there and open the door.
Right.
Don't know why I'm here.
No.
Have no idea.
Because it's there and because I'm here. So, right. Okay.
Exactly. So we have to have like therapy helps with that kind of stuff. Like just talking to people about it. Because like once I put that in the chat, they're like, me too, we got to get out of this fucking kitchen.
Right. You can't just sit there all day.
We got to figure out something different. You cannot sit there all day. Because it's just literally talking to you. And for us that have emotional eating, stress eating, especially with work, like you're like, oh, my boss was an ass. I kind of want something salty or something.
Right. Exactly.
Because I'm not a drinker. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't do drugs. Like, I smoke my weed and that's it. But I won't smoke weed on clock time. I've learned my lesson. I've done it before. Like, not on accident. I totally did it. And then I was like, wait, did I get that done?
Right. Like, I'm so confused.
Did I update that address right? So, like, I'm going through past stuff just to make sure I got shit done. And then after I did that, I was like, I'll never do that again. Nope. Because it was at the end of the day. I thought I was, like, slick. You know, I had, like, an hour and a half left. I'm like,
I'm fine.
Nothing's going to happen.
Right.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
No. Not fine. I can't do it. Some of you people
I'm assuming
can smoke
time
and go.
moves slower. So I'm like, the last hour and a half of the day now feels like 3-5 hours.
Yeah. And then I got paranoid. Like, I'm at home by myself, but I'm paranoid that someone's going to know that I smoked.
That is hilarious.
So goofy.
Yes.
It's so goofy. I don't recommend it.
I
don't do it anymore.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know, when you talk about sitting next to the refrigerator, I remember I met this, she used to be a Weight Watchers coach, and then she opened like her own weight loss practice when I lived in Connecticut. And she helped me understand that, you know, like we say now, I feel like everyone says obesity is a disease, right? But then people weren't saying that. But what she said was, you know, most people suffer with food addiction and just don't recognize it. And she said the problem is with other addictions, with an alcoholic, they know you don't go in a bar, you don't just have a beer, like you stay away from alcohol. Like that is the way you have to survive.
Yeah,
with food addictions, places and people, right?
Anybody.
Exactly. With food addiction, and she gave me this analogy, and I've always thought of this. She said, it's like you have a tiger living in your house. And every day, 3 times a day, you have to let the tiger out. And he runs all through your house, and you're praying that hopefully he doesn't mess everything up, and you can wrangle him back in the cage, and you have to let him out 3 times a day, and you hope you can control it. And I was like, that is how I feel about food.
I love that.
Right? I was like, and she's like, because you can't just cut it out of your life. You can't just say, well, I just won't eat. You have to learn to control this thing that can very quickly feel uncontrollable. And you just pray that it doesn't wreak total havoc. And then you got to
Yep.
wrangle it back to say, okay, I ate breakfast. I ate what I was supposed to. Now let me put the hunger, put the thing away until the next time I'm supposed to eat. And then I got to
Yep.
let it out again. See what happens
It's
and pray for the
scary.
best. It is
Yeah.
scary, but it helped me recognize, one, that it wasn't just me that was having this struggle. And two,
No.
once she kind of put those words around it, it helped me realize, okay, so yes, I do have to like wrangle this tiger and put it back in the cage. And I don't know, it kind of gave me a little more strength to do it, because before it just
Good.
felt like it was overwhelming. Like my desire for food, it didn't, I didn't recognize the triggers. I didn't realize I was an emotional eater. And so it just felt like, I don't know why I can't stop eating the cookies, right? And it was just so, anyway, it really, really helped. It really helped once I had language that made sense around it.
Sometimes you just need that click.
Yep.
Just that little changes. Because yeah, I used to talk about on the podcast all the time of like, you wouldn't put a crackhead in a crack house, right?
Right.
So like, it's the same thing. Like,
so why are you sitting in the kitchen at the refrigerator for work?
Exactly.
But this
exactly.
is life. Like, right? This is what you have to do.
100%. And it's just like, it's hard, but we have the tools now.
Yeah.
And that, like, with the VSG surgery, it's a great tool. And now, like, you have the physical restriction. Like, do you feel that still when you eat? Do you feel it's a little too much?
I do. And I recognize how much I used to overeat, because I will be eating something and I'll say, I'm full. And I still will go, "Oh, one more. This tastes really good. I just want one more bite." Pre-surgery, I would have still eaten double the amount of where I first said I'm full. Now, by the second bite after oh, I think I'm full, my body immediately goes, hey, hey, hey. Hey, that was the last bite. And I'm very aware of it. And then I put the fork down, I pushed it to this, like, yep, my body has told me we are done. I've wrapped that up. I will take that to go.
No, it's fair.
Oh, yeah, which is wonderful, because, and granted, I do get the fullness cues. Like, I'll burp, my nose will run, I'll get the hiccups, like random things will happen. And I'm like, yep, this is just, but it's not until my body goes, that was the last bite, Kimberly. And so I'm thankful that even though it seems like my brain still hasn't caught up to when my brain first says you're full, I don't stop eating. I still do 1 to 2 bites more.
1 to 2 more.
So I'm glad that I still have the restriction where my body is like, I told you, we're done.
Yeah.
So we are done. Fortunately, I never had, like, I know a lot of people talk about dumping and all of that and like these really bad reactions to overeating. I've never had a bad reaction to overeating, and I'm grateful. But I do think the fear of a bad reaction keeps me. So when my body says, hey, we're done, I'm like, okay, yep, because I don't want anything bad to happen at this restaurant.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because it's almost like embarrassing.
Right. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah, because like, for those that don't know, like, the bad things are, like, you could just start sweating, like, profusely.
Yep.
You could, my brother fucking went to the bathroom at Red Robin and had to puke because he overate.
Because he overate, yep.
And he has VSG as well. Okay. So, like, he has that tool, and he said that it was the most embarrassing thing, because he was in there for like 20-30 minutes.
I'm sure.
Like, his family's just
is like waiting, like, what's wrong? Yep.
What's wrong with Dad? What's going on? And like I said, he has 5 kids, so like, it was hard, and it can really suck, guys, because then some people it comes up both ways. Yeah. So now you're on a toilet in public, right? Doing these things, and then sometimes you're at home and this happens to you, which still isn't.
It's still uncomfortable. Absolutely.
Yeah. And it does last a good 30 minutes to an hour. It's like it just needs to fully process and then it's done. Right. So it's not an all day event, but you feel out of it afterwards. You're kind of like, it's almost like the flu. Yeah. Where like it happens, it's really intense for that 30 minutes to an hour. And then like, you're just like, fuck, that was I'm out of it. Like, I don't even want to do anything for the rest of the day. It can literally put you on your ass. So it's like, the fear is great for some people, because then it does, you never feel it. I've heard that from a few people where like the fear of it happening has been so high for them that they don't want to risk it, or
Yep.
Hmm.
Yep. Which
And then
is good.
I've seen the riskers. Like I've had the lady on. Her name's Jenna. She's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I just listen to my body. So if I get all sweaty and icky, then that means I went too far. And I'm just like,
Okay.
I'm like, I love you, girl.
If that works for
You're
you.
totally like, let's see what happens. It's like challenge accepted for her, you know?
Right.
Like,
Oh my God.
and for us, we're like, oh no, that just sounds awful.
Yes.
Don't
want it.
So it's one or the other. So you're 14 months out.
Yeah.
What does the average day look like for you? Like food wise, exercise wise, like what's going on?
The only thing that I am really consistent with for the most part is breakfast. I never liked yogurt before, but I've now developed a taste for yogurt. I eat yogurt with like a protein granola and flaxseed almost every morning. That's like my go-to breakfast. With some, every once in a while I'm traveling or I meet somebody for breakfast, so it changes, but that's pretty much my standard breakfast. Everything else after that just depends. So I'm not intentionally low carb, but I feel like because I have to prioritize protein, I end up being low carb. So I eat.
We do,
Yes.
yeah.
So I tend to eat meat and vegetables, heavy on the meat, medium on the vegetables. And then if there's room left, I'll throw a carb in there. So I end up being kind of low carb, but that's it. And there's nothing in my mind that I cannot eat. Like, I don't feel like I'm restricted, that there's anything that I cannot eat. I find that if I'm craving something, sometimes I'll use that whole delay tactic, like, well, I'll have it this weekend. Or someone asked me the other day, I was at a support group meeting for the surgeon's office. They were like, do you mean I can never have cake again? And I was like, here's the thing. I try not to eat cake because one, it's going to fill me. It's a lot of sugar. I may get like the sweats or whatever that is. And I'm like, it's going to fill me and I won't get my protein in. So I recognize that. If I still want the cake, I guarantee you after a bite or two, I'm done anyway. Like the sweet tooth, the thing is satiated. I'm probably full. It is what it is. But I got the bite or two. I said, and then you're going to realize you don't really want the cake. And that's probably the best thing. It's a mental thing. Like, you're going to start to realize you don't really want the cake. So I'm not going to tell you that you'll never eat cake again. It's just, I think you're going to eventually realize that you don't want it and you're not going to be able to eat as much. So, it is what it is.
Your brain changes to where you're like, it doesn't serve me.
It doesn't. Exactly.
Like,
not in the ways that it used to serve me before, right? And so, yeah.
It's like, it is gonna like, you will get to have cake again. There's people that are like, I'll never have ice cream or cake again. That's not true. You get to have it whenever you technically want after that first year. It's just, you have to be careful now.
Yeah.
You just have to be mindful of it and not eat the whole cake.
Right.
And when you feel that restriction, then stop. Like, you just have to stop these days. You can't just keep going.
Yeah.
Because when I regained, I remembered one of my girlfriends at the time, like, she was on a GLP-1 and cake was around and she never went and got cake. And I was like, is that what the GLP-1 does?
Yeah.
And she goes, yep. And I was like, oh, son of a bitch.
Right.
And I went and I had my piece. I had a little tiny guy. Mm-hmm. And then within an hour later, I wanted another one. Of course. And I was like, I looked at her and I go, I want another piece. And I was like, is that really what the GLP-1? I said it to her again. And she goes, yeah. She's like, it doesn't make you want it at all. Mm-hmm. And I was like, son of a bitch.
Like that's some good stuff.
Like that. Right. Yeah. I need, tap me up. Let's go.
Yes,
like,
seriously.
So, and that was one of the benefits of me getting on the GLP-1 was the food noise.
Yeah.
Because and I only do air quotes because it is so loud. And I air quote it because I love me some Dr. Eric Smith. But he did a whole thing about food noise, and he doesn't believe in food noise. And he was actually on the podcast once, and I looked at him, and he's like, "What? And I go, "Are you really going to tell me I don't have food noise right now?" And he's like, "What, Mel?" And I was like, "Well, here's the thing. Mm-hmm. Have you ever you've never been in the body like this? Like that's how I see it. Yeah. Like you've never been an obese body. Yeah. So like we can tell you what food noise is like, but until you actually experience it." It could take over your day. We're all day now.
Oh, it's all consuming.
I'm thinking about it's all consuming and it's all different types of food. Yep. Because really it's all about when am I going to get it? How am I going to get it?
How am I going to feel when I get it?
Yeah. Mine was always like, is there going to be enough food for me?
Yes.
And is there going to be enough for me for it to have seconds?
Yes.
Like, it was just an all like consuming day of food. So I told him, I was like, I have food noise. And I
Yeah.
go, and I know you're saying if we eat whole foods as much as we can, less processed, that you don't have the food noise triggers. And I go, yes, it brings it
It
down.
probably helps. Yes. I don't
It
know that it turns
helps,
it
but
off. Yeah.
thank you. And that's what I told him. I was like, it definitely helps, but it's not 100%. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna crave a fucking banana, and I'm not thinking about the damn banana like, or the chicken. I'm craving something that's else. It's like, I want that cookie, or
Yep.
I want that steak. And then people are like, yeah, steak is fine for you, but guys, I love me a good ribeye, and I love all the marbling that comes with it.
That's what makes it
And
good. Ugh.
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
I know. I had some friends that literally they cut off the fat, and I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with you? And I'm like, just put that on my
That's the
plate.
good part.
Legit, I'd be like, bring it
I
over
know.
here, because all I do is I cut the meat. This is so random, but I do cut my steak to where I have a little bit of fat, a
Mhm.
little bit of meat, and I'm just like, doop,
Yep.
doop,
That's
the
the
whole
best way
time,
to eat it. Yep.
right?
And I
But then
would
they're like, no,
rather
that's a
do
lot of fat.
that and eat less than like
Mm-hmm.
give me one whole really lean, like no, that's just I'm at the point where I'm going to enjoy my food. Like my tastes have
And you
not
should.
changed where I'm so healthy that I don't enjoy the good thing anymore. I just
Yep.
know I have to eat less of it. And I'm more intentional about when I'm eating certain things. And I also, granted, I'm still trying to form like good exercise habits. So someone was like, no, you did it. And like, if you do something for 90 days, it's a habit. And I'm like, I still have to talk myself into it, even though I consistently talk myself into it, but it's still having to talk myself
Yep.
into it. I don't know if that will ever change, but that's my attempt to be more intentional about health,
Yep.
overall health and wellness. So I have a pretty regular exercise gym routine or whatever. And I think about that
What is
when I go to eat something that I'm like, okay, you just went to spin class. Like, is it worth all the calories you burn in spin class to eat this one piece of this right now?
right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, is you're having that thought now.
Right.
Because before we would never even
No,
think like
and I
that.
wouldn't have gone to
We
the
would just
gym.
have it.
Right. I would have just had the
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. And now it's like a whole thought process.
Right.
So you said that you have a pretty good exercise regimen. Are you going like 3 times a week, 4 times a week? Like, what does yours
So
look like?
on Sundays I go to spin. On Mondays I go to a boxing class. On Tuesdays I do strength training. On Wednesdays I do a water aerobics class with my mother. That's our mommy and me time. Thursdays I do strength training, and Friday or Saturday I try to walk like 2 to 3 miles. So
Okay.
so almost every day I'm doing something, which
Mm-hmm.
can feel like overkill, but because it's something different, like it doesn't
Yeah.
feel like overkill. I go to spin once
Good.
a week. And so, so if I miss it, I'm like, no, I don't want to miss it because I'm not going to spin till next week. So, I like it.
Yeah.
So yeah, to me, variety is key. Being able to mix things up, it keeps me coming back where I don't. Because at one point it was like, okay, well, let me go walk every day. And by day 3, I was like, I'm dying. This is the same hill. This is the same tree. This is the same. Like I need
Yeah.
something different to keep
Different
me
to look
engaged.
at. Yep.
Yeah. So that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of how I've set up my exercise life right now, and it's for now it's working. For now, it's working.
Good.
Yeah.
No, I think that's great that you have variety. I've talked about that a lot actually on the pod. Is just figuring out what you like,
Yeah.
and then going from there. So, how did you discover that you like spin and boxing and all that?
So years ago, somebody told me that spinning was like the best exercise ever. And I tried it once. I tried
Okay.
it probably 3 times, like a year and a half apart. And each time I
Oh.
was like, this is hell. I will never do this again. Like the seat was
Ah!
uncomfortable. But I kept
Oh, yeah.
hearing this woman say, she was my hairdresser a long time ago. She was like, best exercise ever. I ended up working with somebody who was a spin instructor. And she was like, Kimberly, she was like, come to class 3 times. She was like, if you give me 3 times, like within, I don't remember if she said within a week or something like that. She was like, you will, by the third time, you will be ready to go. I went to 3 classes in a week. After the second class, I was like, I can't wait to go back. Like all of a
Yep.
sudden, and I don't know if this happens with everybody, that uncomfortable seat that was the first class, by the end of the second class, I was like, it feels completely fine. Like it didn't bother me. I don't know if my body had just, I don't know what happened, but somehow it felt better.
Yeah.
And now I love spinning. So as I gained
Oh,
weight
good.
though, it got harder. So
Mm.
now I'm like relearning to love it again because my body can move a little bit easier. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
so I love it. Boxing, I got introduced to boxing because my brother at one point owned a title boxing franchise. So I would go to kind of support his club. And
Oh.
got into boxing, and it's a great workout. And so now he doesn't own a title anymore, so I fortunately the gym that I go to has a boxing class, and so
Nice.
I love it. And when I tell you, it's such a good way to punch your stress out. So anything that's bothering you, I mean, I am in there
Let's go.
knocking it out. Yes, so that's really good. um my brother is my trainer, and so
Okay.
he used to make fun of me because I have these pink weights. And like I picked them up while I was watching TV and I'm like, oh, 5 pounds, and he was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
He was and I was like, don't pink weight shame me. Like I like my
Yeah.
pink weights.
Yeah.
And he is very much like women have to lift heavy. He kept saying that to me, and I was just, whatever. Anyway, I finally decided, me and my sister-in-law, his wife, he takes us through a weight training session twice a week, a strength training session, and we lift heavy. And I will tell you, I don't think any other exercise has made me feel as like I've seen the benefits of it with that. I feel stronger. I can see how my body is leaner. Like I have seen more of a difference with that than I have with any, like all the cardio in the world is, I mean, it's fine. It's everything has its place.
Yeah.
But that to me
Right.
was definitely my missing piece. I needed that. And so I do that twice a week. He wants me to do it 3 times a week, but I have commitment issues. So twice a week is
No,
where we're
you
at.
start with
Starting with
twice. Yeah,
twice.
you go twice.
Exactly.
That's all that matters.
Exactly.
No, and I hear so many good benefits from strength training. Us
It's so
ladies
good.
really need to do it.
Yeah.
Even myself, I need to get back into it. Because I remember feeling just so strong
Yeah.
and confident and being like, yeah, like I can fucking lift. And then afterwards, I just felt strong. Like when,
Yeah.
if I needed to do anything around the house, like now things aren't as heavy, right?
Yep.
Like things don't feel
Yep.
as hard to do because you're like, oh, this is nothing. Like,
Right.
here we go.
Now I have
So,
the like the fear of like I don't want to look like the Incredible Hulk. Like I don't want to walk around. I don't want to walk into a room and someone go, "Oh, she looks strong." Like that's not the impression I wanted to give. And my brother was like, "It's not going to happen." Like the people who train
yeah,
to be like bodybuilders, like the amount of work and training that goes into that, you're not going to lift up a weight and stumble into being a bodybuilder, Kimberly. Like
no, you're not.
right, I'm not. Okay. And so now, lift now I see, like I said, I can see the difference. And I feel like my arms aren't doing this. Like I'm not doing this walking around anymore. Like I'm still like, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So it is
No, you're right.
alleviated my fears. I feel stronger, but I
Good,
don't
good.
look like, like I'm shooting steroids or anything. And so
Right.
it's like you said, I feel when I'm doing day-to-day things, I just feel better. I can tell the difference. And so I keep hearing that, like, when you get into your 60s and 70s and 80s, you want to be able to walk up the steps. You want to be able to carry the groceries. You want to be able to do all the things. And so I can see
Yep.
how I'm setting myself up for that later.
Well, that's what we have to do. Like, we want future us to be happy with past
Yes.
us.
Yes.
And I talk about it a lot because I'm like, okay, I'm so happy that that past Mel took care of that.
Yes.
So that way it's easier now. I'm all like, offline we were talking about how like I will do all the work up front just so that way the back end
Is easier. Yeah.
I don't mind working.
Yeah.
Like, and I used to have, you're gonna like blow your mind here for a second. I had like 7 people live in this house with me.
Oh.
And we have 1 bathroom.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was, we did it for 2 years.
Oh my God.
It was a lot.
Okay.
And people were like, why would you do that? And I go, I would rather be a little inconvenienced for a little bit of time just to help others or myself.
Yeah.
So if that means that I need to go work out 3 times a week, then so
Yeah.
be it. right? If I'm going to allow my family to live here until they can get up on their feet. I don't mind
Yeah.
that. I'm okay with that. And not a lot of people are. I get it. People were like, I remember one of my other friends, we're not friends anymore, but whole different story with that one. But you know, she had a family member live with her for like 2 months, and she's like, I don't know how the fuck you do it. This is like, I just want to scream and freaked out on them. And I was like, you just can't.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It's
you have to be
difficult, but
patient.
patience is key. Patience is
Patience
key.
is key, and you
Communication
gotta
is
have
key.
patience.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you have to have that with yourself too.
Yes.
So like that's the biggest thing. Like you got to be patient with yourself. You got to communicate with yourself. That's why I love to hear that you're talking to yourself.
Yes.
Because if you don't, then things just go
Yeah.
awry, and then you don't realize what you actually want and care about.
Right. You're just mad.
Because
Like, right.
you're just mad. You're sad, upset. You're like, I don't know what
what's
the fuck's
going on
anymore.
Right.
No. Well,
So true.
I'm having so much fun with you. So guys, we are going to do a part 2 because
Good.
both of us are single, and we both
Yes.
have had to deal with dating in the new body.
Yes.
And so
Which is such a
in the
conversation.
next-
Oh my gosh.
Right. So we're going to do a whole dating episode in 2026. So look forward to that. I just wanted to get Kimberly on and get all the background on her and how things kind of like have fallen. But before we go, because we are going to wrap this up here in a second, I just wanted to see what tips and tricks would you give someone that's going through this right now?
Who's going through surgery right now?
Mm-hmm. That's like, yeah, either they're newly post-op or literally about to have surgery.
Prep. Like the prepping and planning, I think, is really, really key to success. And when I say that, like, I remembered when I went to have surgery, I had things lined up like, okay, I know I need protein drinks. I know I need this. Like, it was all in my refrigerator. It was all ready because once post-op, I didn't want to have to think about what can I eat? What can I like? I looked at what my doctor told me was on the approved list for whatever, however many days I was out, and I had stuff ready to go. And I had a variety of things ready to go because I also know I got tired of vanilla yogurt at like day 2. I was like, I cannot eat that anymore. So it was good. I had mixed berry, I had blueberry, I had, all these, I had toasted coconut yogurt. So I had all these different things that I was able to kind of cycle through. And I found the things that I ended up liking more, but I didn't get in a rut of, I can't eat this thing anymore. And so that was really, really good just in terms of prepping and planning. Planning out your meals ahead of time, because if you wait until, so in the first couple of months after surgery, I think I called it like fuelings. I think that's what I said. I need fuel. I felt like I didn't eat because I was hungry, like, but I could feel my energy. It's almost like a gas in a car. Like I could feel the little thing going down. Like I'm approaching eat. Like I could feel my energy. And it was like, okay, I have to plan every 2 hours, every 3 hours. I need fuel. So make sure I've got a cheese stick or something in my purse or whatever it was. Like I always had to prepare to have something with me. And that just, it really, really helped. It helped get through. And now looking back at it, I'm like, those first few months flew by, even though when I was in it, it felt like a long time, but I felt like the first few months really did fly by, but it's because I was prepared. It was because I was prepared.
Oh, and that's the biggest thing, prep. And it doesn't mean meal prepping. No. It just means having it in the house.
Yes, exactly. And having a plan and knowing what you can grab at a moment's notice that because you're going to need something. Yeah.
You are. And grab and go is so helpful, especially in that first year, because you're right. You don't feel hungry, but you know you have to fuel. Yes. Because you're feeling those tiredness because we're not eating. And you got to think like, I mean, I was 308, you were 360. So like us going down to like 500-600 calories, our body's like, what is happening? Like, like we gotta fuel this body, we gotta move this body, we gotta make sure your brain's functioning. Like, and we forget food actually like promotes brain function. Yes. Like, which is why like brain fog was real. Like real. It's fucking real, guys. Yes. So all we can say is prep. make sure you just have the shit in your house.
Yep.
And if you have questions on what you can, like what you want to prep, you can ask any of us. You can email me, message me, you can DM Kimberly, you can DM me. We are here to help you through this and not to make anything harder.
Yeah.
We want it to be as easy as possible because we know what it's like to go through it. And if you can prep, fucking do it. Just do this for you. This year, this whole you like getting healthy, getting the surgery, and that first, I would say 18 months, like your doctor said, this is your time.
It is. Yep.
This is all you. And it's not selfish. There's nothing wrong with it. You're supposed to be able, like, you're supposed to learn how to take care of yourself when we were younger, but we didn't know.
Right.
None of us really do. We're just like adult toddlers walking around, just like, you know, we're eating our nuggets and our fucking our 100%. And it's funny because like I love boneless wings, but it's like because these are adult chicken nuggets.
That's someone said that to me before, and I was like, you're right, that is an adult chicken nugget.
Yep, 100%. So it is okay to like feel guilty that you are doing this, but don't let it control you because you, at the end of the day, only have yourself to look at and be with. So, alrighty. Well, thank you so much, Kim, again for being with me. And guys, just remember, eat the protein, drink your water, get the sleep you need. Sleep is huge with weight loss. And don't forget to take your vitamins. I got my ProCare here. I take them every freaking day with iron because your girl learned the hard way. She's iron deficient. And then, of course, you guys all know this. Until next time, don't be an asshole to one another.
Yes.
Yeah. Have a good week, guys. Have a great week. Let me know if you need anything.
Bye.
Thank you for joining me on this episode of Our Sleeve Life podcast. Don't forget to head over to my YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, and follow me on all the socials so you stay connected. And remember, until next time, keep shining bright.